Let me first ask what you make of this volatility. It has continued to increase, and the momentum stocks that were the big winners last year are the ones that continue to get hurt more and more. What does that say to you?
Well, I mean, I think you have to remember where we've come from. We've come from a period where volatility was too low, and you know that's in the process of correcting. And you know, obviously the tech news in the near term hasn't helped either, and you know that's quite sector specific. So I think it's interesting now that the thing that had hurt European stocks, which was their low tech weighting for much of last year, is potentially now going to help European stocks going forward. The real key now is volatility going to start to impact fundamentals? Because you know, in general, we're assuming that the fundamental trends that have driven quite decent market returns up until this quarter remain in place. But will volatility shake out some of the positions? So that's the thing that we're really looking at right now.
So is volatility basically going to affect, what, you mean corporate earnings? Because that's what everyone's betting on. Obviously, that's how the stock market works. But people are actually still raising their corporate earnings expectations into 2018, when over the past few years, it typically is analysts start out with a high forecast and cut throughout the year.
Right. So we've been in this really nice virtuous circle where, volatility had been low, fundamentals have been supportive, and asset flows were very strong. So, asset managers were receiving new cash to invest, and because the returns were so great and the fundamentals were so great, they had to invest. Right now, volatility is shaking out some of the flows. If fundamentals remain positive, the question then is actually, will the money come back in? I mean, if the fundamentals remain strong and we get another good earnings season, then it really should come back in. But it's just a question of shaking out some of the more optimistic positions that we've had in the market.
What do you see as far as the fundamental story in tech, though? Because there have been so many negatives about actual earnings issues.
Yeah. I think the question about tech is how systemic is it? So it is in part because we know that quite a lot of the gains of the broader market last year were centered in tech, and so if we do get a fundamental reassessment and a medium-term change in the regulatory outlook, then yes, that's a potential negative, and obviously that's a sector that investors have rushed into. So there is a threat there, but is it a threat to the broader market if fundamentals outside of tech, as you say, are potentially still going to be quite supportive? That's the real question.